Hi, this is Scott Holstad. Once again, I made a video just a couple days ago in which I read some selections from my new book of poetry that's going to be coming out actually tomorrow on October 15th. And pretty excited about it. It's my first book of poems in quite a while. Surviving Immortality Again. Scott C. Holstad. It'll be on Amazon tomorrow. Publisher, Alien Buddha Press. 132-page paperback. But I'm doing something different right now. I want to get on and read a few quick little experimental pieces for what would, for me, be a quick little video, because pretty much everything I do is not sufficiently quick enough. And I do a lot of experimental work, and lately, the past couple of years, especially in short form, various haiku, but using the cut-up technique that, particularly Bill Burroughs perfected, in my opinion. Didn't invent, of course, but perfected. Big influence on me. And found poetry and just surrealism, Dada type stuff. I play around with mini fragments, and so I developed. I've been writing haiku like most people, since high school, which for me was a long time ago. Got my first haiku published, I think, traditional, in around 1990 in haiku headlines. But I have been working on a series. I do a lot of experimental series in different areas, and I call this my haiQ.fOO cut up series. And I've been fortunate enough to encounter a website that is a literary journal website, founded and run by this really creative, talented person named Eric, who has been doing something similar probably for longer than me. Developed his own theory of poetics when it comes to haiku, and his project and the name of the site actually is similar in spelling to mine. haiQ, capital Q-U. The site is actually haiQ.fOO, haiQ.fOO. I'll show it to you some other time. I don't really have the time right now, but he has published a few of my pieces in the last couple of months especially, and I thought I would read them. And just as a core concept, we have retained the traditional 5-7-5 and 17 syllable base, which actually really is no longer sort of required outside Japan and Western efforts, but we like those rules, and you gotta know the rules to be able to break the rules, right? But the goal is to look, and his method involves social media. Mine, any source really, other sources, but social media is fine too. There's lots of crazy stuff there, and really treat it as found poetry or cut up or whatnot, and have 3 different sources, one for each of the 3 lines, 5-7-5 syllables, and do something a little different with them. So your traditionalists probably won't like most of these. My stuff in most things tends to run a little darker than many other people. And if you want to try and get away with that, from that in writing more traditional haiku, which I actually had some traditional haiku published in an anthology in August, I am capable of it, but there will be people who won't appreciate experimentation of this sort and darker, sometimes very dark, forms of haiku, and other people who will find it engaging. And there are a lot of experimental sites for short form poems, for haiku, for a number of different things, and there's something for everyone somewhere, right? So I just wanted to give a shout out to Eric. I actually meant to a day or two ago, but I've got so much going on in preparation for the new book coming out tomorrow that I'm having to try and space things out, as best I can. And some other time I'll plan to do another video, maybe show you the website and point you to, if those of you who are interested, his manifesto, if you will, of his theory of poetics when it comes to that. But I'm just going to dive right in because I really want to commit to keeping this short, and already way over. And I'm just going to go chronologically, so otherwise they're in random order. Chronologically, in the sense of when they were published on his site. And the first one is titled, and I'm just reading off some papers. Forgive, it's not very glamorous, but it's expedient. So the first one, and yes, I know you typically, especially traditional, you don't title haiku and similar things, and so when I send more traditional efforts into journals of that sort, I'll leave the title I gave it off. I do title them for my own organizational purposes. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I've got thousands of things, and if I don't have a way of tracking them, to never find them again. So, and the more experimental places often will use the titles not as part of the poem, but as a way of identifying them. So the first one, titled, and the title I take simply as the third line in the piece. So no thought goes into it. Shredding rusted laws. Free air will flutter. Ice frozen in graveyard time. Shredding rusted laws. Next, deaths told their secrets. Bodies bleeding warm. Anarchy of revulsion. Deaths told their secrets. Third one from August 13th. And you can actually, in addition to going to the haiQ.fOO website, you can find these either in entirety or referenced on my own website in hankrules2011.com. That ought to be on my channel right there. Type in my name in any search engine, you'll be able to come up with far more than you ever wanted, and certainly my webpage. But this third one is then titled Broken Parts in Corners. Pouring rained death heads, wicked justice for old times, broken parts in corners. And 3 from last month, September. They're similar. From September 22nd, Thin Dead Viper Smiles. Like that. Can't remember where I found that. I have that documented somewhere, but Blood flows at your feet. God tried to kill me and failed. Thin, dead viper smiles. From September 24th. Non-light makes lit mares. Sorry. Yeah, I should have that somewhere. Oh, here we are. Non-light makes lit mares. Haven for cutthroats. Calling bets, hookers, and hits. Non-light makes lit mares. Last one. Maybe we'll survive this after all, although I've gone over my intended time. Dead art for art's sake. Saw teeth on a string. Hiroshima of the mind. Dead art for art's sake. That was from September 26th. Last of the 6. Can't believe this took 11 minutes. I babble far too long. I'll have to work on that. I hope those of you... Hi, kitty. Please shut up for right now. I'll pet you in a moment. Why do they always do that? Hi, kitty. You can't get up right now. This is Ace. I'm not going to show you Ace right now because I need to finish this video. Thanks to those of you who may have seen this, watched it. I hope some or most of you found this engaging or enjoyed it. And even if you didn't, you're welcome to comment. You're welcome to comment regardless. Appreciate any views, likes. Love it if you'd share, and I know eventually Eric will too. He's hoping to grow his publication. And again, my new book of poems, none of which are like the ones I just read, is coming out, tomorrow. Surviving immortality again. It's sort of a concept book of poems I've talked about in another video. You can find information about it elsewhere. It should be on Amazon tomorrow. And I thank you for joining me with this video effort, and I hope to do another one again pretty soon. It's kind of fun. Take care. Bye-bye.